point. I
Can
I
you
don't
quickly
even
round up? Let's use like 3 minutes just to rush your conclusion because the host logged all of us out. It wasn't your fault alone. We were all logged
okay.
out. Now that we are back, please just rush to conclude so that the next person can come on.
Okay, ma. So we spoke about the common forms of police brutality, extrajudicial killings, unlawful shootings by officers, torture and inhumane treatment of detainees and suspects, harassment and extortion of law-abiding citizens, collecting bribes and all that, use of excessive force during protests, e.g., firing gunshots, physical assault, profiling and targeting based on appearance. You see, young men here are stereotyped as criminals just because they wear the same color of outfit, let's say black and black, make their heads with make dread, dye their hairs, and etc. And have rape and sexual harassment of detainees and citizens, unlawful detainee of citizens for personal gains, etc. Then we have key examples. These examples are at home with us and are still some of them are fresh. So we'll list a few. Lekki Tollgate massacre of 2020, incident of police brutality, police firing a gunshot at a student, a final year student by name Emmanuel Ahenji at Burukun roundabout, who was in a moving vehicle recently this year. Then the Yellow killings peaceful protest of 2025. Then we have factors that have fostered police brutality, corruption of law enforcement agencies, weak judicial accountability, political interference with justice systems. In here, um, officers who are backed by politicians, that are often protected. And again, political interference with the justice systems. Politicians interfering with justice systems just because it is their siblings or their relatives that have violated certain rights. Impact of police brutality on society of law. There's breakdown of public trust. Citizens are no longer trust people who are, who have the right to protect and guard them again. This law enforcement agent, there's no longer trust. There's threats of law and democracy because citizens are suppressed, protesters are suppressed, they can't speak up. So there's threats of democracy and rule of law, long-term traumas in certain places where these things take place, e.g., the Lekki toll gates. It will leave certain psychological traumas on people who experience or witness or even lived around there that saw what happened. Then youth alienation and mass protests. It will make youths to alienate themselves from activities that certain activities, social activities, because of the killings. If I go to this gathering on my way back, imagine a girl being shot on her way back from a gathering, a social gathering. It will make youth to alienate themselves from these activities and many other activities as well. The mental and social trauma. Survive. Okay, I've mentioned something like that earlier. Survivors and communities experience long-term psychological and societal damage. Sorry. Recommendations: strengthen accountability mechanisms. This will be through in independent investigative bodies such as the Police Service Commission. If they are given real power and they real enforce these laws, and prosecution of erring officers as well, police training and orientation, human rights education of officers. And they have to be taught to maintain professionalism and respect and honor their code of conduct. Disbandment of rogue units, as it was done with the SARS units after the Lekki toll gate shootings and killings. Then judicial reforms, foster faster prosecution of police abuses could help. Compensation of victims. If these abusers are made to compensate the victims of people they have abused, I think it will teach them a lesson and it will curtail police brutality. Then legislative action, stricter enforcement of police acts, adoption of Anti-Torture Act in 2017, civil society and engagement management, continued advocacy, e.g., the Amnesty International Nigeria is one of the organizations that have been advocating against against brutality, police brutality on citizens. The use of technology, e.g., body cameras for office. Thank you. To monitor activities of these agents. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ruth. Time is eating into, so I think by my estimation, that's straightforward and something we can read and understand. So we may not go into details per se. So we want to bring up Stella for her presentation now. Stella Ohin, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
So you
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, class. I'm presenting on the topic, discuss child abuse cases in the Nigerian society as a violation of constitutional rights to life. Child abuse remains a significant social problem in Nigeria, manifesting in various forms like physical violence, sexual exploitation, neglect, child labor, trafficking, and harmful traditional practices. Beyond its many moral humanitarian implications, child abuse in Nigeria has represent a grave violation of a constitutional right of life. Constitutional framework. In 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, guarantee the right to life. Under the section 33 sub 1, which states every person has a right to live and no one shall be deprived intentionally of his life. Children as citizens are human beings and fully entitled to these fundamental rights. Also, Nigeria has ratified International Convention on the Rights of the Child, CRC, and the Federal Charter of the Rights and Welfare of the Child, ACRWC. Both are the obligation to protect children's rights to life, survival, and development. Child abuse as a violation to rights of life. Child abuse can be directly, it can be indirectly, threaten or take away a child's life. Those violations include physical abuse, which is several beatings, torture, and some tragic cases. Children can be accused of witchcraft, sent out of the community, killed, and be harmed. Then we have neglect. Many children can be denied of food, shelter, medical care in the hands of the caregivers and parents in the name of, I ask you to do something and you are not able to do it. I ask you to complete this particular task and you are not able to do it. For that, you are not going to have your food. For that, you are not going to stay inside the house with me. You stay outside while I sleep. Such things are coming up, they are continuing in our society, and those children can be led to so many things. Most times, even when they are out there, you don't know what they are facing. They are on the streets, they are stranded, but you are comfortably sleeping in your own house in the name of a child disobey you. We have sexual abuse and exploitation. Beyond the immediate physical and psychological harm, sexual abuse can be exposed to children to life-threatening. so many diseases like HIV, AIDS, and so on. We are having cases that in our homes, many of our relations that are staying with us, the male or female, they can abuse a child children that are living with us, but we keep hiding it in the name of, we don't want the name and our family names to be exposed. We don't want this to happen. Maybe the society, what would the society say when they get to hear that a child that is staying with me has been sexually abused? So many things. This leads to stigma, trauma of the children. We have child labor and trafficking. Children who are subjected to work or trafficked into dangerous conditions often face fatal accidents. These children, their labor, they help their parents to go out there hawk in order to bring back the money for them. During school hours, after school hours, most times you see them late hours, 8, 9, 10 p.m. hawking out there for these parents in the name of their staying with them and they're helping them. Then we have trafficking. People traffic these children. They take them to other states, remove their organs, sell them to other people. And those children, those are the things they mostly face. State responsibility. The Nigerian government has a constitutional and moral duty to protect the rights to life of every child by enforcing strong child protection law, such as Child Rights Act 2003, which domesticated the CRC, providing social welfare support system to protect vulnerable children, raising public awareness about children's rights and the harms of abuse, negative impacts of child abuse, anxiety and depression, social and behavioral consequences, which includes trust issues, substance abuse, cognitive and cognitive and educational impact, long-term consequences into adulthood, low self-esteem. Then we have child abuse cases, which is supposed to be handled according to the federal government by some courts. We have family courts or juvenile courts, which is established under the Child Rights Act, CRA 2023, and corresponding child rights law of each state. They handled cases like child protection, the welfare of the child, the custody of care of the child. Then we have magistrate courts. They handle cases like assault, causing harm and neglect. The courts act in absence of family courts. Then we have high courts, handle serious criminal cases such as defiling a child, that's rape of a minor, murder of a child, aggravated assault. However, despite this legal framework, widespread poverty, cultural practices, weak enforcement, and lack of effective social services continue to fuel child abuse, making the right to life largely theoretical for many Nigerians. In conclusion, child abuse in Nigerian society is not only a moral failing, but a constitutional breach that undermines the very essential of human dignity and life. Protecting children from abuse is essential to fulfilling Nigeria's constitutional promise and its obligation under international human rights law. Thank you. Hope I'm not logged out too.
Okay, no, you are not. We are with you.
Okay, ma.
You are not.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much. Stella was now. Now let me make some findings before I make my contributions. We have 2 pending presenters. Mr. Joseph, are you in the class? Joseph Odu, are you in the class? Okay, is any other person hearing me?
He's not in the class. He said he had
ma'am.
he said he has an emergency.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
always make recalls to him because he's a coordinator for the class. So there are 2 persons.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Then,
Sorry, I am in the class now. I had an emergency that I couldn't join early.
no problem. I'm
Yes,
always making recalls to you because I place the responsibility of a coordinator of the class. Now, there are 2 people that their presentation is pending. We've not heard from them, whether they have exited the class or they are still part of the class. Ruth Abito, sorry, Stella Abito, Patricia. I've not even been seeing the Patricia in the class, except she's entering by a name that is different from this name. Ruth Abito has been in class. Did she send any message to anybody so that we know actually who is who and what's happening in the class?
Patricia
No,
was in class in the early hours of today. In the earlier
wow.
class.
Okay. Maybe I didn't notice.
It was when the meeting ended sudden that maybe she, after some trial, maybe she feel that the class may not reconvene again. So we'll create this thing to get back to her. Let me get to her through a call and see what hear her response.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay,
Likewise,
that's fine.
Joseph,
So
Joseph try and reach out to Abito. I think Abito was equally here.
okay.
Yes.
okay. While you are both trying to reach out to these 2 people, I want to appreciate the presentation from Stella and also add that, when we talk about life, right to life, many people feel that right to life only entails when you kill somebody. But when you reduce somebody's quality of life to an extent that life is somehow meaningless, is also a violation. And when we talk about child abuse and as a violation of the constitutional right to life, now I see the quality of life that many children have been reduced to as being beyond a normal life. I mentioned earlier when we were talking about constitutional fundamental human rights that when somebody is sentenced to life imprisonment, it does not mean that that person is going to remain in prison forever. It only means that a good quality or quantity of that person's life has been taken away from the person. The most meaningful time of his life has been taken away. So we, as members of the society and as people who have as people who are key stakeholders in the society, we must be very vigilant in our own attitude towards children that we superintend over, either biological children when we talk about child abuse, don't only think that it's only children that come to live with people that are abused, although they are much more vulnerable, and the society tend to be more hostile towards them. But there are some people that, you know, abuse their own biological children. I think it was just yesterday that I read on the internet and activities of a certain NGO that had to effect arrests, liaise with the police to arrest a biological father of a girl who is now, was it 13 years or so, whose original biological father started abusing sexually at age 9. So cases of abuse are not only to children who come to live with relatives and non-family members. That's in the dominant proportion anyway. But we must look out. And I was impressed by what that NGO did. I feel that we must learn from some of these. You know, it should be like a takeaway for us from this class. These children are entitled to their right to life. A child who has been violated, a child that has been abused and has lived with a complex, that child's part of life has been taken away from him or her. And if he ends up being a problem to the society, which eventually sometimes will end up taking his life earlier than expected, that child's right to life has been violated. So the quality of life we offer to children could be a violation of their right. That's why particularly I tag that issue of child abuse to a violation of right to life. So it's not only when you kill somebody physically, you know, but when you maltreat, when you reduce the quality of life of that person to a level where his life is no longer meaningful. Some people now contemplate suicide because of the treatments they receive. You know, that becomes just the end to it all. So it's important that we take note that these are constitutional issues and we shouldn't be involved, and we should also not stand by to watch some of these activities go on if we must be, you know, accorded a status of responsible members of the society. So I just wanted to stress that point. Otherwise, the presentation is precise, is apt, and has captured basic key things. But I want to stress it as an aside. Let's leave the class with an impression that these are fundamental human rights issues which can be enforced. And like I said, as a recap, if you are not even in a position to personally do something, you can draw attention of somebody who is willing to stick out his neck for the society. And the person you must have also contributed in saving that person's life and also adding value to his or her own life. So I don't know if either from this class, any presentation, or general from all our classes, because we are rounding up on the course, everything today, except the two people that have not presented. If you reach out to them, inform them to send their presentations to the class WhatsApp, and they are going to physically present during during the week of revision. So if there's a general question you want to ask, you will ask. Before you ask, I'll be making some announcements. As noted on the platform for PG class, revision comes a week to your exams. During that revision, you are going, people that couldn't present will present physically there. We're also going to write a test. And your presentation is going to take a higher marks than the test. So I want you to necessarily and compulsorily submit this presentation. Your assessment is over 30. This presentation is going to take 20 marks, and your test will take 10. So some of you that are asked to enrich your presentation, quickly do that. Submit. I'm going to take a look at all the presentations again. If they are in slides, submit. If they are in document form, submit them. Don't make a mistake or forget it. If I don't see it, it's taken that you did not present, and you are losing 20 marks. So you make your submissions before the day of revision time. So I'll take a look at it, I'll grade it. I know some people have already submitted theirs. I'll take a look at it and grade it. Your test is over 10. Then for some of you that also took SST 717, that is Law and Society, your assignment there is taking 10 marks and your test is going to take 20 marks. And the test is also going to be a week of revision. If you notice from the this thing, from the, if you notice, oh, okay, let me split it half. Your test 15, your assignment 15. Reason why your presentation is carrying higher marks is that I've seen the efforts you have made, and presentation by all means does not only take writing, it takes your expression, it takes, we rate different things to, you know, come up with a total sum of your scores in presentation. It's different from just going to copy something from any source and paste as assignment. You know, so here, even though if you got AI to do the note for you, at least you also presented, we spoke, some of you, we asked you questions, we sought clarifications, and you know, that is a higher level of activity, of an academic activity. Testing your composure, testing your expression and all culminates into a total sum you will get, total score you will get at the end. So that is it. If you see from the timetable, revision for SST 717 and 719, they are on the same day. So I think that's a big advantage for some of you that are doing the course. And I want to also commend all of you for your being present in the class. One disadvantage of virtual lecture is people log in and they go doing their own things because it is showing here. But at each point, right from Law and Society, at every point we're talking, and I can attest that you'll be present. So even if they ask for attendance, I can attest for people that have been present, and that's quite commendable. And I also believe that if you study very well, you will get good marks, because from your participation, it appears, I can see your interest. I can see that many people are very curious, they are very attentive, because when we diversify and talk about other issues, it helps me to gauge your attentiveness and how much you are following the class. So that has also left me with a positive impression on your persons and your class in this regard. So lecturers don't only criticize. I think where there is need for commendation, we do. So I highly commend this class, and even SST 717. Your participation has made the class very interesting for every other member, and even for my own self, because I personally don't appreciate classes that are just quiet, looking and just observing. We are postgraduate students, and it's expected that some of you may even have more qualifications than I do. So it's important that I also seek to learn from you too. So your contributions, your participation, they've made the whole class interesting. So on this note, except you have a question, I want to end the class. Is there a question, general or otherwise? Or any clarification you want to seek?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Joseph.
Yes, good morning, ma'am. Good morning, class. I want to sincerely appreciate you for your time since we started this lecture. It has been impactful. I sincerely want to appreciate you. And I want to appeal that maybe you give us a little time for this assignment on SST 717. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, and then let me also add that instead of sending SST 717 to my personal WhatsApp, send it on that group, because I've been receiving some, and I don't want to come and miss somebody's lecture in the middle of nowhere. So send it on the SST 717 group. It will be easier for me to pick it from there. Okay, that's taken. Right. That's taken. Make sure the assignments come in before revision time.
It's okay, ma. Thank you, ma.
week before revision, latest week before revision, so that I can go through it, grade it before we do our test.
All right, ma.
It's
Noted.
okay.
Thank you.
Ma, yes. Good afternoon, ma.
I can hear you, Jeffrey. Yes, good morning.
Okay. Thank you so much for appraising us. At least from your appraisal, we are 75% good to go. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
You equally make the class lively. That is why, and the class is more practical than other um, other courses we have studied during this period, because um, each and every one of us might have passed through one of these things and then need clarification. And then the lecture is coming as clarification over issues that we have stumbled on, and then we lack more knowledge to push them further. I think it will place us as better citizens having studied this. And the contribution I want to make, or the inquiry I want to make, was related to the person who made presentation on police brutality. I could hear lack of implementation related to weak judicial system, and then uh, the Police Service Commission. I think these issues, as my perception, is centered on individual. There are people who are knowledgeable about this and know where to take them to, but they, in totality, feel that it is waste of time. It may not give a result. A same court that you lost your case, some persons are coasting home with victory. So it is not for us entirely to lost confidence in our legal system, and to a point that we say laws are not implemented related to weak legal system. The fact is that somebody may be harassed and the person may not seek redress either in court or taking it up with the police. At a time, I was heading towards Urukun Roundabout on a ride, and then the traffic wardens stopped me, and I calmly stopped, and they started interrogating me that why it was on a bike, why do I carry two persons? I say it's my personal bike, and that is the only means that I can carry those persons along with me. And then they say we should calm down. I stepped down. While I waited for a while, I told them that I have a schedule somewhere. I just excused myself from the office. If it's for me to leave the bike with them, go and come back, or they should tell me of the way forward. Then one among them, I don't know what happened. He became more aggressive and agitated towards me. I said, did he know me anywhere? Do we have anything in common that is unsettled? So then the guy jacked me. I say he's in uniform, I will not jack him, but he should please leave me because he doesn't know me. So then the other person came with their batting and hit me. I started bleeding immediately. What I calmly did, I walked to the police headquarters and I saw the proofs of the police and told him all that went on. He immediately sent police along with me to identify those guys and bring them to the headquarters. The moment they sight that guy and they say it's from the moment I left, some of them ran away from that place. That is how they left their duty post. On coming there, they say they went to their office in Wadata. On following them down there, that the provost need them, they ran. So you see, it is on the side of individual as well. If we don't want to approach issues in the way. I was for a mission, but I saw a need that these people, if they are not well cultured, their law and their model operandi should define if truly they are supposed to harass members of the public in that manner. And then they saw how they went out of their way to do that. They were not courageous to go and face the law. So sometimes we are the ones that attribute this and then in the end go on to accuse the weak legal system or the code of conduct of those persons are being shrouded. And that is my contribution.
It's as if she has been locked out too.
Yes.
I can see that way.
Okay, in
It's
that
all right.
case, we should end the class. And before we end the class, for the benefit of us that are online, I want to pass this announcement. I got a call this morning in regards of practicum 1. I was told that
Article. Yes.
I was told that some videos will be sent to us while we watch, then questions will also be sent to us. Then we'll answer those questions within a time frame and send the answers to them. I believe that should be when we are going for the examination. So let's stay tuned for this question to be sent to us, as well as the YouTube videos to be sent to us. As soon as they send them, we'll forward them to our personal WhatsApp group for discussion and how to go about it. And then another thing, the HOD drew my attention concerning tutorials. I don't know, most of us are away, while some of us are within Makurdi town. I don't know how we're going to meet to carry out these tutorials before examinations. I believe this will help us. And if it's not okay, if we can still create time on our WhatsApp platform to be engaged one of these days, I think it will also help us. It will go a long way too. So it is open. We can actually talk about this on our WhatsApp platform. Thank you and have a good day, everyone.
Okay,
Thank
class
you.
rep.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah. I want to make a contribution in regards to what you just said. That's the revision. Looking at it, that the main school revision is coming up on the 4th, and then my exam is 3 weeks, so it means we'll be spending like 4 weeks in Benue State. So like starting revision before that time, for some of us who won't be there in the state, because the 1 month already is an issue getting it officially. So we are still working to get that one. So if you're adding like another week of revision outside the original revision on the timetable on site will not be possible. That's for me. And I think for some other persons too. So my own advice is, since we'll be having lectures virtually, why won't we take advantage of the virtual aspect so that everybody can actually benefit from it? So that's my own contribution. Thank you.
In this case, since we are being recorded, I think we can discuss more on the WhatsApp platform.
Okay.
Record. Even on record, are we discussing anything outside normal this thing?
To me, this
I
is
think
actually
the HOD was laying emphasis. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So, hence we have a class platform. Let's go on.
I think it's
Class
better this
platform.
way.
All right.